The story begins at a luxurious, multi-story villa in a hotel room. The main character, whose name is Travis, was terribly dissatisfied with something and was angry with his aunt. When he burst into the living room, he shouted and asked why his credit card was blocked. His stepmother, May, told him not to worry, because after dinner she was ready to discuss anything with him. Travis didn't understand what kind of dinner he was talking about when the bank employee said his card was blocked by it. May's younger sister, Karen, offered her brother something to eat before arguing. And the younger brother, also from May's stepmother's side, said that there was no point in rushing anywhere now. After these words, a conflict broke out between the main character and his younger brother. Travis asked his brother if he understood what he was talking about now. May told her son Sam with a grin on her face that they really couldn't put this conversation off. She began to tell Travis that whether his father was alive or dead, it didn't matter as long as it made a loss for the company. That's why she asked his father's lawyer to transfer all his shares into her name. Travis shouted that his father disappeared only 3 years ago, and she already intends to transfer all his assets into her name. Only May said that she had already done this. And then she added that they could at least make the farewell meal memorable, and then asked if he had any wishes for the food. Travis replied dissatisfiedly that he would have green tea, and then said that he treated her like family. But she took advantage of his father's absence. And then her son Sam stood up for the mother. He told him to watch his tongue. Otherwise, he would make sure that he would never be able to speak again. After Sam gave his speech, May told Travis not to demonize her as if she didn't feel anything for him. And then she told him not to worry, because she thought about him, holding out a gold card and saying that there are 5 million on this card. And he just needs to sign the contract, after which he will be provided for life. Travis smiled and said that he thought she would think of everything in advance. May said they wouldn't have survived as a species if they only thought about themselves. After which my children began to rush Travis to sign the contract, thereby accepting their mother's generous offer. Travis said he would sign the contract, but he had one more condition. May said that she knew that everything would not end so simply, and Travis would have some conditions. He said that he doesn't need that 5 million. All he needs is his family's ancestral land. Hearing this, May's children, of course, began to mock Travis. Sam said that he must be just joking, and Karen said that on that land, there are only small supermarkets, costing no more than 3 million, and then asked if Travis was okay with his head. May asked her son Sam to print out the new contract, and within minutes, the new contract was in front of Travis. Without thinking twice, Travis began to sign the contract, and ultimately the deal was completed. After signing the contract, a joyful May offered to drink to a wonderful tomorrow. Only Travis did not intend to drink wine with her, after which he poured it on her with the words that just looking at her made him feel bad. With a smirk on her face, she asked him if all this was really being said by someone who had just lost everything. Leaving the villa, Travis said and advised her to remember his words, which said that even though she won the battle, she would lose the war. With all his dissatisfaction, Sam asked his mother if she would really let him go so easily, after all that he had done. In response, May, with a smile on her face, said that he could take revenge on her as much as he wanted. But news of his father's disappearance spreads faster and faster, and soon no one will take his side. Apparently he had some kind of plan, because his grandfather once said that this plot should not be sold, because this land was passed down from generation to generation. When he decided to open the doors to the inside of the supermarket, he saw that light was coming from there. Only he didn't understand where the light was coming from in the long-abandoned supermarket. After he entered, a scan began inside, and something inside recognized him as the owner, and then began collecting data. And after which the system said that the scanning was successfully completed, and the Lord was recognized, so the transfer to another world could be carried out. But suddenly, after a moment, he was transported to another world. The place where he was transported was more like some kind of potion and jam store. Travis was a little confused about what happened to his house and where he ended up. When he approached the door, he made a lot of effort to open it, but to no avail, the door did not yield to force. The man who was on the other side of the doors opened them and said that finally there was someone he could really rely on. He said that the Lord must help him, otherwise he would commit suicide if he did not. But Travis could not even speak normally with such a disgusting smell next to him. All that guy asked for was whether the Lord could let him go. If he did this, then maybe the guy would even help him. He took the fact that the guy began to choke from the smell as consent. At that time, the system of that store asked to fulfill the request of this person, and that in the distance, Travis would carry out the task with caution. And then, the system said that for every completed task he would be rewarded. But Travis only asked to stop bombarding him with messages in his head. Then I handed the guy some mint-flavored chewing gum, which removes bad odors from the mouth and imparts freshness. As soon as that guy got those gums, he immediately took everything from the pack and threw it into his mouth, without even removing the wrapper. But even so, after he ate them all, he felt a pleasant, minty aroma from his mouth. And then he took Travis's hand and, with a sweet face, asked how much this divine artifact cost. Travis replied that he had no idea, and then showed him 3 fingers and said that he could come up with something. The guy said that his medicine might be high quality, but 3 low-grade spirit stones are too many. Maybe he can pay with something else. After which, with a huge smile on his face, he said that he could give him what all men want, if, of course, Travis understood what he was talking about. And then he took him to one place, where there was a thing with which he wanted to repay. But Travis did not understand where he had brought him and what it was. The guy replied that with this potion, he could have fun with beauties for hours and not even get tired. Blushing in surprise, Travis asked why he needed this thing at all. Suddenly, he heard the voice of the system. She said that the master's time in the cultivation world had expired. The people who were in this world would be purified, and the world would be rebooted. After which he seemed to begin to fall somewhere, the system again said that the first single life was completed, and as a reward, the owner received an uprising eye of ordinary rank. And so the guy again found himself at the original location, in the potion shop. The system again said that the first mission was completed successfully. The system still did not stop talking. It said that when the store's profit reaches more than 1 million, the store will be updated, and the spirit and field will become available for construction. At that time, it was already day outside, and someone's car drove up to Travis's store. A slender beauty came out from there. It was Travis's childhood sweetheart, named Ariel. When the guy finally looked outside, he saw that his old friend had driven up to his store and was surprised, and then asked what she was doing here. Ariel said that she had heard that he now lived in his native land and that his supermarket had recently opened, and then asked how things were going with him. Travis actually knew that Ariel was angry when she found out that he left May, but now she was acting restrained and supporting him, which made him happy. Then Ariel said that based on the situation, he could very well join her. But Travis suddenly asked if she was really planning something. If she really wanted to repeat this, with him, despite the fact that they broke up. If she really couldn't forget him. Ariel did not like such statements, and she stepped on Travis's foot with her heel. After which she said that he was heartless and remained so. Leaving, she added that he should rest, and later she would find him a normal job. Travis, with a smile on his face, didn't understand how he could cause her so many problems. When Ariel was already leaving about her business, she saw a rather familiar car in front of her and became wary. Most likely she knew who was in that car. That's why she didn't even turn her head when she passed by them. In that car sat one very rich man, accompanied by a driver and several security guards. Sitting in the car, he was incredibly happy and said that today, Travis's name would be erased from people's memories forever. A few minutes later, this man and his guards were already standing at the entrance to Travis's store. They were shouting for him to give them something. But Travis said that it had just opened, so the boss would have to come and get it himself. Otherwise, they would have to get out of here. The man angrily shouted that he was here to destroy this place. And then he added that if he kneeled in front of him and called his father, then he might change his mind and not destroy this place, and perhaps even give him some food. Yawning, Travis said that people usually want what they don't have. And then he added that he really wants to become a daddy because he still can't have a child. After these words, the boss immediately ordered his guards to attack the guy and destroy this place so that he would never talk such nonsense again. Suddenly, he heard the voice of the system. She told him to use his eyes. Travis was surprised if this thing really helps him in a fight. And then the system analyzed this man and established his name. His name was Adam, and his body was in poor condition, and divine medicine was needed to cure him. While the guy listened to the system, he simultaneously dodged the blows of Adam's guards. The system said that this man has quite a lot of potential, so Travis should actively expand the sales of his store, thanks to him. In the end, Travis still said that in that case he could start. And then Travis began to attack Adam's guards one after another. At the same time, he called his blows differently, for example, as a blow that causes dizziness, or a blow that breaks the back. And so, when he had already dealt with all of Adam's guards, he came to Adam himself and hit him quite hard in the face. Yes, he hit him so hard that he flew several meters away from him. But then Travis, with a smile on his face, asked if Adam felt humiliated. And suddenly something happened that no one expected. Adam fell to his knees and began to cry. At the same time, remembering the beautiful girl who asked if he was okay. Travis approached him and said that apparently he had guessed right. And then Adam asked what he should do, because his girlfriend. Having understood the essence of the situation, Travis handed Adam the potion that he took from the guy from another world. Adam asked him what it was. In response, Adam said that this thing would help him reunite. It would make him a hot guy who would attract all the girls. Adam asked if this thing really worked, in response to which Travis told him that he was a dear person to him, How could he deceive him? And then he added that the effect after adoption would be immediate, and then added so that he would not forget to pay him for it when everything comes out. In the report, Adam said that as soon as he tried, he would come back and pay him. But if this thing didn't work, then Travis would greatly regret it. One day later, some people whom Travis didn't even know arrived at Travis's store. But instead of answering his question, he said that he was very pleased to see the youngest son of the family in such a mess. It was a guy from Ariel's family's generation named Andrew, surrounded by security guards. He said that Travis was incredibly pathetic. Did he really want Andrew to take him back to his aunt? Travis asked if he really thought he would go back to his aunt. In response, Andrew said that he was truly pathetic, and then added that Ariel was his bride, but he was so blind that he lost her. But in Travis's memories, everything was completely different. Ariel said that she was not going to get married. After all, she wants to find her true love, and until that moment, there is no point in having a husband. The next day, when they met again, Travis told Ariel that he told his father about the divorce, and he beat him severely for it. And then he said that now she is free and can find her true love. When Andrew heard this story, he couldn't understand what was wrong with Travis. But then he shouted that he had already finished with her, because now she was his girlfriend. Suddenly, Travis asked him if he was telling the truth now, or just showing off his fake coolness. Travis first asked in surprise if he really didn't believe him, and then in bewilderment asked why the hell he doubted his words at all. The guy didn't want to tolerate such impudence in his direction, so he slapped Andrew in the face. Immediately after this, Andrew began ordering his guards to beat Travis so that he would remember once and for all who was boss. When the guards attacked, Travis responded in kind, but was surprised when he couldn't take him down with the first kick. He knew that his body was not being guarded by ordinary people, so he needed to take them more seriously. And finally, he began to succeed in defeating them one by one. But every time a second one took the place of one guard, and Travis had a rather hard time, because his strength was not endless either. And suddenly, at one moment, when Travis was fighting with the guards, Andrew snuck up on him from behind with a glass bottle. While he was distracted by the guards, Andrew hit him over the head with this bottle. Turning around, Travis said that he managed to use a weapon, and even attack from behind. How vile that was. In response, Andrew said that he shouldn't be fair to a dog like Travis, after which he ordered his guards to immediately get up and finally beat this guy. Suddenly, they heard Adam begin to scream, like those who allowed themselves to touch his brother, Andrew. Did they really want to die? And then he stood in front of Travis and told him not to worry, because as long as he was here, no one would touch Travis. Travis was a little surprised how Adam even got here, most likely. Since he was here, that thing worked. Andrew asked Adam if he wasn't angry with Travis, after which he asked him to mind his own business. Adam asked why he should be angry with Travis, and then added that if Andrew touched the guy, it would be considered as if he touched Adam himself. Andrew knew that Adam was a rather dangerous person, and if he did anything to him, he would have a very hard time later. And then he shouted to Travis that since Adam was here, they were even now, after which he pointed his finger at him and told him not to even dare think about Ariel. When they had already left, Adam turned to Travis and said that he had arrived just on time. Only suddenly, Travis's eyes began to close. He began to lose consciousness and eventually fell. When Travis woke up, he saw a girl in front of him who was reaching out to him, as if she wanted to kiss him. After that, Travis asked where he was. The girl became a little embarrassed and answered, she said they are now at her brother's house because her brother told her to take care of Travis. The girl said that she just wanted to treat his wounds, so it was better for him not to move now, and then added that men always make others worry about them. After some time, Travis thanked her and said that he was very glad that such a beautiful girl like her was taking care of him. And then he asked her name, in response to which the girl stood up, smiled, and said that her name was Amanda. Then Adam suddenly came into the room and said that he had great news for Travis. He led the guy to a place where several people were sitting at a table, after which Adam introduced Travis and said that it was he who gave him that remedy. In order not to bother again, Travis, thanks to his ability, scanned everyone at this table. And then, after reading their descriptions, he mentally said that Adam is really the person who gets what he wants. After which he said that he knew everything about them, since they were Adam's friends. Those sitting at this table thought that he must be joking, because it was simply impossible to do such a thing. He simply could not be capable of such a thing. Adam angrily asked them what was wrong with them. Did they really not believe him? After which, Travis stood up and said that there was nothing wrong with it. He simply would never sell them that product, even if they begged him on their knees. Immediately after these words, Adam's girlfriend came into the room and said that she had brought him food. Then she went up to Adam and told him to open his mouth so that she could feed him. Looking at all this, the guys who were sitting at the table thought that it was all not serious, or that she was most likely forced to do it, Suddenly hearing what was said, Adam's girlfriend looked at them with a creepy look. One of the guys felt so awkward that he even asked why she was looking at him like that. Immediately after this, the girl walked up to the table where the guys were sitting and put her foot on it, asking if they really wanted to get hit in the face, because she could help them with this. After that, everyone as one asked her for an apology and said that they were really wrong. Hearing this, the girl approached Adam, kissed him, and said that in this case, she would not interrupt his party. Seeing what was happening, one of the guys began to think that this girl had taken some kind of drugs. The second one said that he did not dare even think about the fact that his sister had taken some kind of drugs. Well, the third one didn't understand at all what happened and why they thought that she had taken some harmful substances. In response to their questions, Adam said that she did not take any drugs. He just used one drug, and with it, you can get absolutely any girl. Hearing this, the guys began to fly like crazy at Travis and beg him to sell them this product. Some even asked him for a double dose with a grin on his face. The guy said that he agreed to sell them this remedy. The next morning, Travis came to his store. He was thinking that last night he sold all his stock, so he needs to go to another world to replenish his stock. After which the guy asked the system to transfer him to another world. The system replied that it would do it right away. The guy was surprised that the system had finally learned to respond to him normally. As soon as he got into another world, he felt some incredibly unpleasant smell, from which he even began to feel dizzy. It turned out that he was the same guy Travis met last time, but this time he brought an elder with him and said that he told him about Travis's high-quality medicine. Looking at this elder's ability, the system said that due to uneven breathing when practicing the cultivation method, this grandfather had an unpleasant odor. The guy looked thoughtfully at the potion he had and muttered that most likely he had this problem after cultivation. The elder named Liam was surprised and respectfully asked the guy how he knew about this. Holding a bottle in his hands, Travis said that this is what will help the elder solve problems. He just needs to apply this ointment to the affected areas of the body every day. The elder began to cry with happiness. He said that Travis was truly the greatest and then called him immortal. But Travis said that he could not give him this ointment for free, so he asked the elder what he could offer him in return. In response to this, Liam said that he had brought a bone marrow cleansing liquid with him, which helps novice cultivators cleanse and strengthen their bodies. And the guy said that he took with him a box of those same potency pills, after which Travis asked if this was all they were able to bring him. The guy asked with concern whether this was not enough for the immortal. Travis said that everything was fine and that was enough for him. But the fact is that his ointment will only help suppress the symptoms and not eliminate the problem itself. If only he could learn a little more about Liam's cultivation method, then perhaps he could help him in some other way. He also needs to know about his method itself, the medicinal herbs and spiritual stones that he uses during cultivation. He wants to improve some of his techniques. It will be much easier for him to trade, and it would also be nice if he could learn about the cultivation methods of this world as soon as possible. As soon as they heard this, they immediately bowed to him and thanked Travis for his incredibly generous heart. Literally a second after the gratitude of these two, he was thrown back into the real world. Every time, as soon as he makes an exchange, he is thrown out of this world. He asked the system if something could be done about it. But the system said that she is just a system, not a person. But the reason why his interruption in that world is so short is because of the small level of his store. Travis didn't understand what he could do in the world in just 10 minutes. And then he asked if he should give the system a few dollars to buy himself another hour. But the system replied that in order to unlock new abilities, he needed to reach a capital of 1 million yuan. The guy said that he needed to become stronger and more influential in order to crush May and return his father's company. At the moment when he was thinking about this, Ariel had already arrived to him, who said that he was quite actively buying goods for his store. And then, looking at the box of goods that the guy received in another world, she said that apparently Travis's business had expanded slightly. Travis approached her and pressed her against the wall, saying that this was exactly how it was, and then invited her to try his product. Ariel told him to put it back in the box and hide it in a drawer, somewhere away, because today Brian was celebrating his birthday, so Travis would keep her company. Shrugging his shoulders, the guy said that, unfortunately, he did not have clothes suitable for this event, and added that there was nothing wrong with that. Holding the bag with the suit in her hands, Ariel said that she knew he would say that, so she bought clothes for him. Travis said that the suit looked brand new. He felt like she was trying to get him, and in that case, he simply couldn't afford to offend her. The guy said that it is rare to notice such attentiveness on her part. And then, smiling, he thanked her for the fact that now he had everything he needed for the event. And so, after some time, they both came to an event where they looked simply amazing. There, they were met by Andrew, who immediately began to shower Ariel with compliments, saying that it was only thanks to her that this place had become so glorious. Travis asked Andrew what he forgot about the event. In response, Andrew said that if Travis himself could be here, then why shouldn't he? Suddenly, they heard Brian inviting them to go inside and then telling them not to do anything stupid. When they had already entered the building, almost immediately Travis heard Adam calling him from afar. He told Ariel that Adam called him, so they should at least come over and say hello. Everyone at the table greeted Travis, and Adam's sister, Amanda, invited him to sit next to her. She said that Adam and the others were just praising him for his martial arts. In response, Travis said that they did not know her brother that well yet, but he was very pleased. Ariel was seriously angry. She asked this girl what her name was, in response to which she heard that her name was Amanda, after which Ariel politely asked to take her hands off Travis. In response, Amanda asked if it was all because he was her boyfriend. Ariel said that everything is wrong because he is her guest of honor, so he will sit at the same table with her. Only Travis said that today, unfortunately, he is on the other side of the barricade. Therefore, he asked her to wait for the moment when he could earn a place next to her, on his own. Hearing this, Ariel became very angry, but Travis interrupted her and asked if she would like him to accompany her to her table. Upset, Ariel turned around and said that there was no need to take her anywhere. She could get there herself. Andrew said that if he doesn't plan to campaign for this beautiful lady, then it's better for him to do it. In response, Travis told him to stop yelling and let Ariel keep her part and authority. Andrew pointed his finger at Travis and said that, unlike Ariel, someone like him cannot have any authority or even honor. Suddenly, a girl came up to Travis and hugged him, saying that they had not seen each other for a very long time. In response, he said that only a month had passed since their last meeting, and she had become even more beautiful. It was his relative named Isabella. Looking at all this, Ariel did not feel very good. She looked as if she was jealous of them. Seeing this, Andrew said that Travis is too arrogant, which is why he does not consider Brian. People who were also present at the event thought that Mr. Brian himself was afraid to go out. Therefore, he could not do anything and resolve this conflict. At one time, Travis knew that Brian was known for his bravery and extreme violence. And for Travis, this is a real problem. Suddenly, a man approached the guys and said that they should stop this farce, because their problem is not that big. It was Sam, Travis's younger brother on his stepmother's side, who asked him to put this problem behind him for his sake. Travis didn't expect to see him here, so he directly asked what he was doing here. In response, Sam said that today was his engagement day, so he would naturally attend this event. But neither Travis nor Isabella understood who he was engaged to today. Unexpectedly for both of them, he said that today's engagement would take place with Isabella herself. Isabella was horrified and screamed that she knew nothing about this, so why should she do it? In response, Sam said that this holiday of her birthday is also the holiday of their engagement, and her father wants to unite their families through marriage. But Travis stood up for Isabel and said that she didn't want this, so Sam better not get close to her. In response, Sam shouted that this matter was only between his group and Isabel's family, so he shouldn't interfere in their affairs. In response to such insolence, Travis asked what he could do to him, since he did not even dare to come closer. In response, Sam said that he was too arrogant. Did he really think that there would be no one in this room who could defeat him? And then reminded him of the presence of Mr. Brian himself. Here, even Adam himself could no longer remain silent. He became so angry that he told them to approach him one by one, because he is not afraid of anyone here. And then he approached Andrew and told him to hit him. But Andrew did not want to do this. Adam continued to provoke him, saying that he was just a coward. And then, in the midst of the conflict, one of the very respected people named Michael appeared at the event. He asked if this conflict had grown because he was a bad representative today. Sam immediately began to complain to him, saying that Travis would make it difficult for him to talk to Lady Isabel about their engagement. After hearing from Sam, Michael said that her mother really agreed to the engagement, because Sam's family wants to become related to their family. Only Isabella said that she didn't want to marry Sam. She would be happy to marry someone like Travis. In response, her father said that the wedding is a serious matter and not some kind of game, in response to which Isabella said that she really loves Travis. And then she added that she fell in love with him after their first meeting, but before he was engaged. But now he is single. The father asked Isabel how he could be worthy of her in his current situation, because the lay group no longer belonged to him. But Isabel replied that she didn't care. She just loved him. Michael took his daughter by the hand and asked him to listen to the words of his father, because if she, the heiress of the corporation, marries him, then in the current situation, she will only harm him. And then he vilely hinted that if his daughter loves Travis, this does not mean that he feels the same about her. Travis thought that this was his way of trying to get him to admit that he didn't love Isabel. From what she heard, Tears began to appear in Isabel's eyes. She was worried that her father's words might actually turn out to be true. Looking into her eyes, he just smiled and said that this is not true, because he also has feelings for her. Michael felt very bad from what he heard. He clutched his heart as if he was having a heart attack. Travis walked up to him and held him up so that he wouldn't fall, and then whispered something in his ear, which managed to surprise Michael quite well. After which, holding his hand, he told the guests that he would take Uncle Michael into the room. Andrew shouted at him to stop immediately. Did he really think he could just run away after what he had done? After which Ariel intervened in the conversation. She told everyone to shut up. This was an event for Michael's representative, and he felt bad, so she asked not to create an even bigger problem. Andrew began praising Ariel for how beautiful she was, then said that he would calm down just because she wanted it, and Sam said that they really could wait a little longer. 10 minutes later, Michael returned with Travis. Both had a big smile on their faces, and suddenly Michael announced that the engagement was canceled today. A couple of minutes earlier, in the room where Travis took Michael, he looked at how bad he was. Thanks to his ability to analyze, he found out that Michael had weak ki for his age. Smiling, he said that now he understood what the whole problem was, and if so, then he had a way to cure his genetic disease, so that he would not have to ask Sam for help. In response, Michael said that it was not his style to be so impatient in his engagement to Isabella, and besides, there was no reason for them to unite their groups with marriage. Travis replied that he most likely has a hereditary disease, so he wants to marry his daughter in order to receive medicine from Sam's family. Hearing this, Michael grabbed Travis by the clothes and told him to heal him immediately, or he would sue him for libel. Travis took his hand and asked him to calm down, and said that this hereditary disease is due to a congenital lack of ki, and he has a cure for Michael. And then he handed him a medicine that cleanses the bone marrow and said that this is the best way to treat this disease, but it will not be able to completely restore his QI. Then he added that Sam could only fake medicine, while Travis could provide him with his family's true healing medicines. Michael said that in memory of his grandfather, he trusted him and then took the medicine. Immediately after he took this medicine, he felt an incredible surge of energy in his body. After he felt relieved, they decided to go back to the gym, and that's when Michael said that the engagement was called off for the day. Isabel ran up to her father to hug him and thanked him for his decision. But her father said that there was no need to thank him, because it was all thanks to Travis. Sam was incredibly unhappy to hear this, so he decided to ask what he meant by the pretext of canceling today's engagement. Michael apologized to Sam, and then said that he only has one daughter. If she doesn't want to marry him, then there's nothing he can do about it. Sam shouted at him not to forget that it was he who turned to his family for help. In response, Michael said that he didn't have to worry about this, because his family would be able to sort out their problems themselves. After that, Sam turned his attention to Travis. He said that he would not go unpunished for disgracing him in front of everyone, and his family would not just leave it like that. Travis told him to be more careful with his words now, because now he is a public figure and he needs to live up to his image. But unable to bear such an attitude, Sam and his friends said goodbye to everyone, wished them a good evening, and finally said that they were leaving. Immediately after this, Isabel rushed into Travis's arms in joy. Ariel watched all this, but at one point Andrew approached her and offered her a drink, because he noticed that she was now in a bad mood. Ariel accepted his offer and thanked him for allowing her to save her reputation, to which Andrew said that he would have let her do it anyway. After some time, Andrew was already taking her to his villa and said that today he would definitely win her heart with his manly charm. He asked her if she really thought that he wouldn't dare do anything to her at that party. Ariel screamed for him to let her out, but he only calmed her down and told her not to worry, because he loved her with all his heart. Suddenly, their car began to skid, and Andrew hit the car doors. He did not understand what happened and why they stopped so abruptly. It turned out that the car with Travis in it stopped right in front of them. When he got out of the car, he immediately started telling Andrew to let Ariel go immediately. Only Andrew was waiting for this moment to lure Travis into his trap. It turned out that he hired people who were waiting for Travis here to attack him and beat him. One of these people approached him from behind and hit him with a baseball bat. Andrew told him to break his legs and arms, but to leave him alive, because he wants Travis to see Andrew rape Ariel. In response, Travis said that Ariel is not someone he has any right to touch. Hearing this, the same guy swung his hand to hit Travis with the bat again. But fortunately, the medicine that cleanses the bone marrow has a beneficial effect on the muscles and bones of an ordinary person, and now his body is as good as steel. Seeing that Travis blocked the blow with the bat, Andrew began to get nervous, so he told his men that if they finished him off, he would pay them $500,000. One after another, they attacked Travis, but in exactly the same order, they were knocked out. Travis was merciless to them. Finally, When Travis had killed all his men, he turned to Andrew and said that he was now next in line. Hearing this, Andrew grabbed Ariel and said that if he came near him, he would kill the girl. But this didn't help Andrew. Travis ran up to him and hit him with all his might. While Andrew lay unconscious by the car, Travis told Ariel to wait a little longer because he had already called the police. When he put her in his car, she was incredibly hot and stuffy, but Travis only asked her to wait a little because they were almost there. And so, when he finally brought her home, she was completely exhausted and was barely conscious. When they got inside the store, he said that she could relax because they had already arrived. While in Travis's arms, Ariel thanked him for saving her. But before she could finish everything she wanted, she lost consciousness. But when she woke up, she noticed that her hands and feet were tied. Hysterical, she began asking Travis questions about what he had done to her. Travis said that she was too active yesterday, and he was so scared that he had no choice. If he had not tied her up, he simply could not have stopped her. Surprisingly, she recalled everything that happened to her yesterday, and when she remembered this, she asked Travis to untie her. Confused, she asked if he had done anything to her while she was unconscious, and Travis responded by saying that if he had, he would have been no different from Andrew. And then he reminded her that in the end, she should be with the one she really loves. Then Ariel asked him how he managed to find her. Travis replied that he noticed Andrew's absence from the event. But he didn't notice Ariel herself, and besides, Adam said that Andrew was looking after her too much, which is why he thought that something was wrong there. Before he could finish speaking, Ariel came up to him and hugged him, and then thanked him for simply being there, and the rest was not so important. While they were hugging, Isabella decided to visit Travis, but when she saw the two of them hugging, she was very shocked. They both said that everything is not as it may seem and that they can explain everything. But at the moment when Isabella wanted to say something, she grabbed her heart and felt incredibly bad, and she lost consciousness, falling to the floor. Of course, at that time, neither Ariel nor Travis knew what happened to her. But immediately after that, she was taken to the Travis family private hospital. In the hospital, in the corridor, Ariel and Travis were waiting for her recovery. Suddenly, they saw Uncle Michael coming towards them. He greeted them and then asked Ariel to step away for a moment so that he and Travis could talk alone. Michael said that the first time the disease manifests itself is always like this. He of course gave her the medicine that he received from Travis, because so far the disease is under control. But unfortunately, Travis said that this medicine only suppresses the disease, but does not cure it, so he will try hard to find a more effective medicine. Michael said he believed him, but then decided to switch the topic and asked how he felt about his daughter, if he still liked her. Travis said he wasn't going to lie to him. He said he really couldn't decide how he felt. After which Travis asked to tell him when Isabel woke up. Michael responded by asking if he still loved Mrs. Ariel. He said that this is not so. It's just that now the most important thing for him is to regain the power that previously belonged to his father. In this case, Michael simply asked to protect his daughter because Travis is a real man, and thanks to him, everything will be fine with his daughter. But Michael was interested in one question. What words would Travis say to Isabella when she woke up? In your time, Andrew asked his master to take revenge on Travis for such humiliation. The master, of course, agreed, but said that he must accept his mistake. Andrew said his only mistake was that he still hadn't killed Travis. Brian said that this cannot be done because Andrew is too easy to use, and due to his brainlessness, he underestimates his enemy. Secondly, Mrs. Ariel does not love him, but he tries to woo her by force, after which he called Andrew shameless. But the most important thing is that at that event he disgraced him because he said that he was useless, after which Brian added that he would forgive him this time only because he had served him for a long time, and besides, he was going to give him the store. Andrew thanked his master with tears in his eyes, and then said that all their problems were because of this Travis. With a smile on his face, Brian told him not to worry about it, because next time they would not need to embarrass themselves, because there was a person who would deal with him. Also at home, Sam also started talking about how their band's reputation had taken a hit because of Travis. May said she told him to establish good connections with the organization so that he could train his skills in the business, but he still couldn't do anything. Only now Sam says that he thinks that Travis has a serious roof, which is why everything is so difficult. With a grin on her face, May said she wouldn't even have to get her hands dirty with Travis. After all, for a reward, there will always be a person who will do all the dirty work for her. Meanwhile, May called some guy named Tyler and offered him 5% of the shares for Tyler. In response, he said that she shouldn't worry about it, because he would do everything beautifully and get rid of Travis without anyone even noticing. After which he ordered his warrior servants to prepare for the task. At the time, Liam told Travis that bone fluid comes from internal arteries, so it increases physical strength, not energy. After asking how to treat a disease of this type, Liam held out his spiritual pearl and said that it should help. Only now Travis gave him a remedy that removes the smell of his sweat, but it does not cure the disease itself. Travis asked if he really didn't believe him. Liam replied that he believed him, but saw that the immortal did not know at all the composition and action of the things he was selling. He called it arrogance. The guy was indignant. He asked how he could know these alchemy skills, and then said that he asked Liam about this because he wants to find out everything, and he still dares not to believe him. Hearing this, Jeremy immediately knelt down and began to beg Travis not to be angry with them. The guy said that he shouldn't kneel. Besides, he wanted to give him something. Most likely, he will have to give them something to make them more accommodating. So he gave James a new mouthwash that will relieve him of the nasty smell in his mouth. When he first rinsed with this mouthwash, he felt an incredibly fresh smell in his mouth that he had never smelled before. Even Liam was surprised by it. After which Travis came to the table and said that if James gave him the medicine, he would receive 5 packs of mouthwash in exchange. And then Liam began to shout out what he would get. An immortal couldn't just leave him with nothing. In response, Travis said that he always gives to kind people twice as much as they give to him. But he doubted him, so he would not receive anything. After these words, Liam said that he carries the mission of the temple on his shoulders, and he always hopes for a good result of his work. So he would like to know the composition of that medicine, and that's all. Travers decided to feel sorry for him only for the sake of James, but said that he would show such generosity to him for the first and last time. After forgiveness, Liam decided to give Travis a chest with spiritual pearls, and he also took with him other medicines, techniques, stones, and other useful things, because he had offended him. When Travis returned to the real world, he was happy, because now he was rich, and if he sold this batch of goods, he could raise the level of the store. He knew that he needed to take the spiritual pill only when he had his own Kiwi energy, so he was forced to train it. Suddenly, right in the middle of training, Adam called him and said that he wanted to meet with him in order to discuss a deal. They met in a coffee shop with an open roof on the lake. Travis said that making such huge transactions in broad daylight was too daring even for Adam. Adam said that he had already transferred the money to his account. But because of Adam's appearance, Travis asked why he was so unhappy. Had his girlfriend really dumped him? Dissatisfied, Adam replied that his sister Amanda fell in love with a rich and tall, handsome man. Travis thought there was nothing wrong with it, but Adam said he didn't even know who her new boyfriend was. His name is Tyler. He is the brother of the owner of an electronics store. All he does is offend weaklings, and even changes girls once a month. Having invited Amanda onto the helicopter, he said that he wanted to take her into the sky with him. But Amanda thought this was very romantic. Travis and Adam were surprised that he just picked her up and took her with him. They began to worry, so they decided that they needed to catch up with them. But they didn't know how to do it. And so, after some time, they were already standing at the door of this bastard's house. They were ready to go inside. But a couple of seconds later, Amanda came out of Tyler's house. She said that they had a candlelight dinner in his personal palace, and he also gave her a bouquet of roses. Travis asked why she trusted him so much. They weren't even connected in any way. Amanda replied that Tyler is a handsome, smart, and rich guy, and he definitely cannot deceive her. At that time, Tyler called Mrs. May and said that she should not rush, because the end result would still isolate Travis from society. May asked if Travis couldn't fight well, to which Tyler said that he had already prepared something interesting for him, something special. The next evening, someone told Adam that someone was destroying his store. When he came out, he saw some huge guy there named Marcon. He was a boxing champion, so he had incredible strength. When Adam tried to stop him, Marcon hit him so hard that he flew into the wall. During this incident, Tyler drove up to them. He said that they should run away from here now. But Marcon mistook Adam for Travis, so he believed that his mission was completed. When Adam said that when he found out who did it, he would bury him alive, Tyler replied that he knew roughly who did it. He said that while Mrs. May was hosting the wedding banquet, Travis had greatly disgraced her, and if Adam got even closer to him, she would take revenge on him too. After which he said that Adam needs to publicly declare that he is breaking off relations with Travis, otherwise there will be even more problems. Adam screamed in displeasure. Do they really want to make him look like a coward because of some little thing? Who do they even take him for? He asked Amanda to persuade Adam that if he did not break off the connection with him, then Travis would bring him a lot of problems. His sister said that it was good that he survived today. But what if? Adam did not let his sister finish, saying that if they break down her store today, will she really leave her friend? And if they break down her house, will she really leave her family? Thaler said that today his store was broken by a boxer, and what if he comes knocking tomorrow with a weapon? And then, it seemed to dawn on the two of them, after Tyler's words, after which Adam said, that Tyler wasn't even there, so how did he know that it was a boxer? Smiling maliciously, Tyler asked why he was so smart, because he could get out of here alive. After these words, one of his warriors, nicknamed the Silent Killer Snake, appeared behind Tyler. Sending Travis the coordinates, Adam said that he had known for a long time that Tyler was not someone who could be trusted. 10 minutes later, when Travis had already arrived at the destination, he saw that Adam was lying on the ground covered in blood. Travis approached him and said that he would figure out how to stop his bleeding. In response, Adam only asked to save his sister from Tyler because no one knows what to expect from him. The guy replied that he would definitely save her, but after he healed him, and after that he promised Adam that he would take revenge on Tyler. Travis was already on the road. He knew that if he went to Tyler now, it would not end well for him, so he needed to draw out some energy from the spiritual pearl. And a few minutes later, he was already standing at the building where Tyler was. It was a rather large and dark tower. At that time, Tyler sat Amanda next to the monitors so that she could also watch this performance and said that she was now in a dark tower. As soon as Travis walked inside, he immediately heard Tyler's voice, who said that top-level fighters were waiting for him on every floor. On the first floor was the same boxing champion named Markin. Tyler said that Travis must have been very upset when he entered the dark tower. After all, this boxing champion came from South Africa. They hired him for 4 million yuan. Once he even beat a gang of bandits single-handedly. In addition, it delivers 10 blows per second, and with each blow it can break a concrete wall 5 centimeters thick. But Travis did not want to prolong his revenge so much that he dealt with Markin in one blow. Thaler pretended as if he wasn't even surprised, and then added that even if he passed the first floor, a deadly challenge awaited him on the next. After all, on the next floor a killer is waiting for him, known throughout the world as the Silent Snake Killer, to whom they paid 7 million to appear here. And even special cameras cannot capture his speed, let alone an ordinary person like Travis. And its claws are filled with poison, which when it enters a wound in a person, causes huge problems in the body. But thanks to the fact that Travis drew some energy from the spiritual pearl, it formed a protective dome with the help of Ki energy, which was broken by the claws of the silent snake. And after that, it was no longer difficult for Travis to defeat her just like his previous opponent. And so Tyler again, as if nothing had happened, said that this time Travis would definitely not defeat the next opponent. He was a guy named an Iron Lucky. 100 million yuan was spent on him. He is incredibly talented in using weapons. But as soon as Tyler finished saying this, Travis had already approached him and slightly wounded the Iron Lucky guy on the head. It turned out that it was the poisonous claw that he took from his previous opponent. After Travis wounded him, the Lucky Iron fell to the floor and lost consciousness. Tyler said that he hoped that Travis would surrender because his next opponent, who had killed hundreds of people, was a demon killer named James the Sawman. After a moment, Travis used his Kui energy to surround this Sawman, and a moment later the Sawman was blown up, leaving behind only unnecessary debris. Tyler told Amanda that if he met Travis, he would receive 5% of the shares of Mrs. May's family. This made him incredibly happy. Tyler was completely overwhelmed with emotions. Hearing this, Amanda, with a serious expression on her face, told him not to even dare to dream about such a thing. Tyler approached Amanda. He said that he was not dreaming. This was all reality, and she was the first person to see this reality. In response, Amanda told him that he should just look back. It turned out that Travis was already standing behind Tyler. He didn't understand why everything happened so quickly. Had he really already reached the top floor? Although he didn't even have time to enjoy it. Judging by the look on Tyler's face, he didn't expect Travis to get there so quickly either. But after that, Tyler told him not to think that he won, because Tyler himself is not such a fool as Mr. Michael, because he always prepares his plan perfectly. Travis mockingly said that he was already comparing himself to Mr. Michael. What a shame it was. Immediately after this, Tyler took something in his hands, opened it, and began to drink, saying that Travis was now recognizing the true power of bone fluid. Suddenly, Tyler felt changes in his own body. He felt an incredible surge of energy and strength. Tyler grew big muscles, but Travis noticed that what he drank was not bone fluid. But in any case, he made the decision that he was worth attacking while he was showing off his muscles. But Tyler said that he moved too slowly, just like his grandmother. And then he jumped on Travis with his full weight, pinning him to the floor. Standing over Travis, Tyler said that he really liked his desperate expression on his face. And besides, it turned out that someone else was watching them. Travis wondered if he really became so strong and fast because of that liquid, and then asked where he got it from. In response, Tyler said that Mrs. May gave him this liquid, but Travis was so stupid that he abandoned their family, so he is not worthy of being strong. After which Travis stood up and said that he had had enough chatter because he had already learned everything he needed. Tyler was surprised that he was able to get up at all after such a blow, because it was impossible. Angry, Tyler said that in this case he would have to kill Travis. But before he could hit him again, Travis walked up to Tyler and punched him in the stomach. He said that he had no experience in fighting at all, so his huge muscles were useless in this situation. Lying on the floor, Tyler reminded Travis that he had everything figured out in advance. His plan was perfect, and then he took a gun out of his pants pocket and pointed it at Travis. After the shot, he said that a weapon always helps against a fighter, but unexpectedly for Tyler, Travis grabbed the bullet with his hands, saying that his gun could only scratch him slightly. He doesn't believe in his muscles so much that he decided to take out a gun, after which Travis mockingly asked if the bone fluid he drank helped him. Seeing this, Tyler began to get incredibly nervous and begged Travis to calm down, and they discussed everything like civilized people. Travis said that they could really talk it out, but first he would return the favor for Adam, who almost died. After which Travis said that he was not going to take revenge on him and hoped that their conflict would be over, after which he told him not to look for problems for himself anymore. After Travis left, Tyler begged him to come back for some time because he was in incredible pain. But suddenly, a man approached Tyler from behind and closed his mouth, saying that everyone would now know about what happened here, so he was forced to send him on his last journey. After this incident, Travis and Amanda decided to visit Adam in a private hospital. Amanda greatly thanked Travis for saving her, because if it weren't for him, they would have had big problems. In response, Travis said that Adam was like a brother to him, so he couldn't leave him in trouble. He also told Amanda that she could just call him Travis without any formalities. After some time, Travis returned to his store and immediately told the system that he needed to get to another world. Suddenly, he saw a bright yellow light in front of him. He didn't understand where it came from, but it turned out that the store's income had reached 1 million, and now the store had a second level. The stay in the other world has increased to 20 minutes. The appearance of the store has changed, and now it can create a chi aura, and a secret reward has been received, a tough nut to crack. When he got to the other world, Jeremy and Liam were already waiting for him there, who brought him many goods for the deal, and Liam brought him a gift as an apology. But instead of accepting this gift, he said that he wanted to ask them something. He said that he saw one guy who took something, after which his muscles became very swollen. Liam said that only the Key Shake pill has this effect, although it has a temporary effect of increasing strength. But the side effect is very harmful to health. Liam asked worriedly, "Where did Mr. Travis see this pill?" But instead of answering this question, Travis asked his own. He asked if it was really that rare. After which Liam said that his former student violated the rules of the temple and sold these pills to other students so that they would pass the certification dishonestly, for which he was expelled. If he were forgiven for this, then soon all the students would be in danger. Travis began to suspect that Tyler was also in contact with the other world. Nervous, Jeremy said that he had big problems. He could make a maximum of 1 return pill deal. This is due to the fact that the ingredients to create the pills are on Kingon Mountain. But recently, dark energy has arisen there, and now there are many monsters roaming there. Travis asked if they could still exchange other pills and bone fluid with him. Liam replied that if they did not go to that mountain, their alchemists would be left without the ingredients to prepare them. Travis realized that they needed his help, but unfortunately, he had too little time for this. But Liam remembered that there was still a way out. If the immortal could master Kira's teleportation technique, then there was still hope. Suddenly, they heard someone running in their direction. It turned out that it was the princess of the country of Gushan named Kira. She immediately began to scold Jeremy for showing up in this new place and not even telling her about it, so she had to find the way herself. After which, the princess immediately began to walk and look around the entire store. When she took the first thing she came across, she said that Travis's place here is so-so. But Travis said that this girl shouldn't say that, because everything here is absolutely in order, and overall the store is good. With misunderstanding, Kira asked him if he had really just called her an ordinary girl. As soon as she shouted that she was a real princess, Travis began to fall back into the real world. Kira immediately seemed to him like a spoiled child. But how could he carry out transactions now? Suddenly, the system told him that if in a month he did not raise the store level to the 3rd, collecting 10 million, then the system would confiscate all his bonuses. Travis was thinking about how he could earn 10 million in a month. Maybe it would be better to do this by selling the elixir of return. When he was practicing with the spirit pearl, he found that it had finally charged, in which case he needed to visit Isabel. He said that if Isabel absorbed energy from this spiritual pearl, Then in a few days she would wake up. Uncle Michael said that he believed him, after which Travis said that he would like to ask him something, so they should leave the room and go to the restroom. There, Travis showed him the elixir of return. It is his family's production, and it has a special effect. Uncle Michael at first did not understand what effect he was talking about, but thought that it was about that very effect. Travis said that this elixir is the best among the others on the market, so he wants to increase his sales during this month thanks to Uncle Michael. But Uncle Michael himself said that in order to register the drug, he must undergo registration, and this takes a long time, and then asked if he had a prescription for this drug. But here Travis had difficulty answering, because he said that this was his family's secret recipe, so he did not know the recipe. Then Travis had an idea. He thought he could wedge his elixir into the healthcare products department. Uncle Michael said that for this, they need the permission of one person, with whom, unfortunately, Michael himself has no connections. In his mind, Travis said that it was better not to pester Michael with his requests, so he said that they could end it here and forget about it. Travis returned to his store. He knew that he needed to replenish the goods. If he did not complete the income task, the system would deprive him of all the goodies, and then he would not be able to take revenge on May. He took a box from the shelf containing something and said that he would take it with him just in case, and then turned to the system so that it would transfer him to the other world. And then Princess Kira immediately met him. She said that Travis had an incredible amount of courage, because for the first time he dared to run away without listening to her. The beaten Jeremy said that unfortunately, the immortal has too much to do and simply does not have enough time to do everything. Immediately, the princess started yelling at Jeremy for not allowing him to talk. Travis knew that Jeremy was only hurt because he was trying to appease this spoiled princess, after which he told her that since she came to him for a deal, she would have to behave according to his rules. The princess began to threaten Travis, saying that now she would simply burn down his barn, and there would no longer be any rules in it. Then she took and turned over all the cabinets in the store that had Travis's products on them. Travis was shocked by such impudence, so he said that now he would have to teach her a good lesson. The princess was surprised whether he was really such a weakling as he was going to teach her a lesson. Travis understood that it would not be easy with her, because her strength exceeds him several times. In a moment, he remembered that the system once provided him with a bonus called a tough nut to crack. And then he ordered the system to activate this very bonus with the hope that thanks to it, he would be able to defeat this impudent princess. The system, before launching the bonus, asked if Travis was sure that he wanted to launch a one-time bonus. The guy replied that he was about to be killed, and the system also asked. The princess began to throw insults at him and say that he was not immortal at all. He was just an ordinary charlatan. After activating the ability, a purple dragon appeared behind Travis. He said that since she dared to attack his store, he would punish her for it. Jeremy immediately knelt out of fear and began to beg that the immortal would not be angry, because the princess simply had such a character and she did not want to harm him. Travis said that if she did not want to harm him, she would not have destroyed his store, for which he must hang her on the front of the store for 3 days as punishment. A moment later, he was poisoned and saw tears and fear on the princess's face, after which he decided to use his powers of analysis to find out whether she was pretending to be poor or really scared. Sistema said that because her parents were busy with government affairs, they did not pay attention to her at all, so she was attracting attention in this way. Travis did not expect such a turn of events, because on the contrary, he thought that she was being pampered. But then it turned out that her parents had forgotten about her. After this, Travis told the princess that he knew that she wanted more attention from her parents, but he would not indulge her whims every time she wanted it. Travis said that if she grew older, she would begin to help her parents and receive more attention from them. The princess was shocked by what she heard. She did not understand how he knew this. In response, Travis said that it's not surprising, but he knows everything. But the princess had a problem. She didn't understand how to grow up, so she asked Travis for advice. The guy said that they should start with mutual respect, after which the two of them began to tidy up the store, and in 10 minutes they dealt with everything. After which the princess asked for an apology from Travis. She said that she would not do that again. Extending his hand with the box, Travis said that in that case, since she came to her senses in time, he wanted to give her something. It turned out that the item in the box that Travis took was a small mirror with cat ears and a comfortable foot. And then he said that unfortunately, the time for the deal had expired and he needed to go back, after which he said goodbye to the guys. He thought that Liam didn't come this time, so the deal only happened with one batch of return pills. That evening, Mrs. Ariel wanted to invite him to a cafe, so she asked if he was busy that evening. Travis replied that he was always free for her. Ariel answered in a strange way that he really liked to joke, but asked him not to do it now. She said that Tyler was missing, But she believes Travis that he is not a killer, but still warned him to be careful because something wrong is happening. Travis jokingly thanked Ariel for her concern and said that he would never forget it. When suddenly he received a call from his brother Sam, who asked if Travis happened to be at the store. And then he said that he ruined his wedding, so he wants to repay him in the same coin, and also advised him to hurry up and return to the store, otherwise he will burn all over. Travis was incredibly angry. How dare Sam set fire to his family's inheritance? He said that he would never forgive him for this act. Immediately after this, Travis began to run out of the store, but Ariel asked him not to be nervous. Sam said with a grin on his face that this was his first gift to Travis. When Travis had already left the cafe, Ariel hugged him and begged him not to go there, because revenge is never too late, especially since they have cultivator fighters, so he is not even their rival. But Travis said that Sam dared to touch his family's inheritance. If he didn't, then he didn't deserve to be called a man. But only after a couple of seconds did it dawn on him that Ariel somehow knew about the cultivators. And then, smiling, he said that he would not make rash actions, but first they needed to return to the store. Unfortunately, by the time they arrived at Travis's store, it had already turned into ruins. Travis did not know whether he would be able to get into a parallel world after this. But Ariel kept consoling him, saying that the most important thing was that he was alive, and the store could be rebuilt. After which Travis took her hand and thanked her for her concern and care, then added that he would not take hasty and rash actions. She said she'd help him find a hotel for the night and come see him again tomorrow. But Travis said she'd better go home and he wanted some alone time right now. After he was left alone in the ruins of the store, he turned to the system and asked if it was still here. The system replied that it was not as weak as people. Travis said that he only had 28 days left, and he needed to sell as many pills as possible. Otherwise, the disappearance of system bonuses would bring him problems. The next day, Travis agreed to meet someone, but he was surprised that he made him wait in such a place.